Got it? So, we're going to do some questions and answers, just talking about angels in a wide spectrum. And I want to just hear some of your questions, because this will be really helpful for everyone in the room. And so first things first, don't be embarrassed about what you want to ask. Because many of us will feel, oh, I don't want to say that in case people think I'm silly. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel embarrassed about any of your questions. But here's some of my rules. When I come to you, ask one question. One question. And try not to ask a question that's either an answer with yes or no, because I'll just say yes or no. The other thing I'll say to you is, please don't ask me your angel's name. I don't know it. And it's not important. And the other thing is, I was going to say is, when you ask a question, just ask a question. You don't need to tell me your life story. I say that not with, I'm not saying that out of disrespect. It's more, if we hear your story, we might not get to answer as many questions. Is that fair enough? Cool. The other thing I'll say to you is, you are also welcome to ask me questions about your path, where you are, what you're working on, what you're working through. So I might get a little bit psychic. Never know. But don't be surprised if I turn into a coach and ask you difficult questions. So, if you'd like to ask a question, please put your hand up and I'll come to you. So you're number one. You're number two. The lady with the black glasses. If you stand up so they can come to you. Where's number one? Yeah, you stand up. And then three. That one. Can you stand up? Yes. And then everyone's going to give you a mic and I'll come to all of you. Number one. What's your name and where'd you come from? And I'm being really honest.
Carol from Essex.
Yeah! Essex.
Essex.
Love it.
Oh, this really exposed.
We love you, Carol. Let's do it.
During the meditation, you know where you said to be an animal?
Yeah.
I was more than one animal.
Love it. And who were they?
I was a brown bear, polar bear, a wolf, an eagle, a snake.
Oh, that's my favourite. I love the snake.
Yeah, that's what I can remember. I kept changing.
How did it feel?
It was amazing being the eagle because I could just fly and sort of see over everywhere. That's the one I remember the most.
First of all, it's very common in these meditations to shift shape and form because they all have different offerings. But it sounds like eagle medicine is the one you need the most.
Okay.
You know, because I think the brown bear is like the protective medicine that you have a tendency to retreat, and then polar bears have a tendency to camouflage. So I think these are parts of your medicine already, or who you are. You know, you have a tendency to hide, or a tendency to camouflage into the background. And then you went eagle, and then you went snake, and you went wolf. So there's like survival there, and the snake's about shedding old skin, but the eagle's about higher perspective. And about seeing things from a different perspective. And I feel like one of your old stories in your life has been about, again, being maybe seen and not heard, or maybe not seen and not heard. And it feels to me that at this point in your life, you've done a lot of work to regain your confidence and regain a sense of your own worth and a sense of your own voice. And it feels like you're starting to get more confident than you've ever been. You're really putting a lot of effort into being who you are without needing to hold back anymore. And I think that's giving you a different perspective of your life. And the way you thought your life would be has been different from you first imagined, but yet there's also a sense of being able to see opportunities and ways to go forward in your life. Does that make sense? And so it feels to me there's like a shift in your perspective. That's why eagle medicine has come to you.
Okay.
So what I want to say to you is, I think it's so important that I acknowledge the carer inside of you. And I feel that your life story has been about caregiving. I think that's why the mother bear is so strong inside of you, because there's this sense of needing to look after others, needing for them to feel safe, needing for them to be looked after and nurtured. And it feels like that's a big part of who you are, but it's not the only part of who you are. And it's like the medicine messages that are coming from your angels are, come out from the cave and fly high.
Okay, thank you.
Do you see how I got the message? Sweet, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. You were two. Hi, two.
Hi.
What's your name and where'd you come from?
My name's Lucy and I'm from Chester.
Oh, cool. Nice one.
So, are the angels able to kind of guide me in like helping dreams come true? Like
Tell us about your dream. I want to
goals,
know.
maybe. So I've got a kind of career goal of being a TV presenter.
Woo! Good voice for it.
Thanks. I get told I sound like Bridget Jones a lot, but and am like Bridget Jones as well.
As long as you're not wearing a big pair of white pants, you'll be doing well. So that's your goal?
Yeah, and do the angels kind of, if you listen to them enough, can they guide you in making those things come true or take you away
It's a great
from...
question. I think that the way it works for me is the angels have no plan for us, but we have a plan for us. But we can invite them to help us align our plans if that's going to be for the greater good. So if you have a goal and you have a dream, the first thing I'll say to you is I think every dream and any dream is possible. And it is definitely down to the self-belief. But I also get this feeling that you are being given opportunities and you are being given little nudges and winks and hip thrusts from your angels to keep going with that dream. And it feels to me closer and closer. But I'll say this to you, and don't take this the wrong way, but I think that already there's potential for you to step into that role. And what I was going to say to you is, and hopefully you've done it already, meet the universe halfway. So I don't know if you've ever thought of creating, for example, your own channel online, or where you are the presenter and you are doing that already. You done it?
No, I'm not, but everyone around me is telling me that I need to do it.
So if everyone keeps telling you to do that, it's actually a message.
Yeah.
I just can't decide like what it should be. So any tips, guys? Let me know.
Well, it feels to me that the best way forward for that would be to speak about the things you love, and it can be a wide array of subjects. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can make your own little, like, channel of what's happening in your life. And if you know anyone that does that work, it's not what they're speaking about, it's who they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think bring people into your work and into your world. And for example, you could speak about something like this. You know, and then the next thing you could be speaking about is a hobby that you love, or the most amazing bottle of wine you picked up in Aldi. You know, like, have you tried the Aldi wine? So, you know, like things like that. It's just, and I think that's meeting the universe halfway. And so, when it comes to work in the light, as in the limelight, often we have a tendency to hide in the shadows, and in order for you to be seen, you have to allow yourself to be seen. I feel that the message that I'm saying to you today is this. Are you willing to love yourself enough to make the first move?
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Hi. Bev from Hemel Hempstead.
Yeah.
Woo. Where is that?
Not
Where?
just outside.
You need to speak into this.
Sorry. Oh, I hate my accent.
Your angels love you though.
Thank you. This might be an unfair question. You said we've come so far in 75 years. Where do you think we'll be in the next 75? And do you? Oh,
That's a
two
great
questions. Yeah. I was going to say, I actually feel like we're in a time of, we've been buffeted, if you like, vampire slayer. We've all been given the power, and it's for a reason. I'm not sure what the reason is, but that's how I feel.
Okay, cool. Great question, right? Yeah, I'm just going to say, Who said that? Was it you? I knew a German would do that. So the question was, I've already mentioned that we've came so far in 75 years of going beyond being tried by the Witchcraft Act, and then the question was, where do I feel we're going in the next 75 years? Because she feels like we're all like Buffy the Vampire Slayer being given the power. So, you know, here's the deal. I feel like we are constantly evolving, and I think for me, it's important not to talk about where we're going, but talk about where we are right now. And so, it's interesting because, and I don't want to upset anyone with my political ideas, because politics are kind of in our face a lot right now, aren't they? And it's really hard to avoid it. And one of the things that I've noticed is there is a divide within the spiritual world, because many people believe in one person and other people believe in the other. I think what is happening right now is we are being given a power, and this is the age of integrity, and we are being encouraged to fully stand in our truth. And so therefore, because we're standing in our truth, a lot of stuff is being brought to the surface. So it's kind of like, it feels at times dark, but it's actually light, because what's happening is all the stuff that's in the dark is coming to the light. Does that make sense? And it's kind of like a really good colonic. It's getting into the nitty-gritty, and it's getting really into the colon of the earth and bringing all that gunk that's been stuck inside. And so therefore I think that in many ways that's why this is a time for integrity and also a time for forgiveness, because we do know who is being racist, we do know who's not doing the right things, we know who's holding grudges against other people, who's not being honest in politics, who's hiding the money. We know all of that stuff. But what these people need is not our hatred, they need our love. But yet we're still, in our old ways, stuck in the witch hunter's mind. You know, look at that bee for doing that. How dare they do that to that person? But really, that mind is what's stopping us from moving into the next 75 years. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so I think this is a time for forgiveness, you know? And the way I look at it is, I obviously come from quite a privileged background, so I've maybe not suffered the way some other people have suffered in the world, but then I always tune into the fact that, you know, my forefathers and mothers suffered as witches and were burnt for that. And so I always say, what would they do? You know, because I don't think they would want us to hold grudges. I think they would want us to rise high, and they know that that would not be possible unless we stood in the light. Does that make sense? So it's like Martin Luther King says, light brings light. You know, so really important stuff. So where we're going in the next 75 years, I don't know. But I do know there's going to be plenty of opportunities to love harder. There you go.